You're there sitting on the couch. Everyone's laughing and having a good time. You're scanning the room, and it's like you're there, but you're not actually there. You're listening and paying attention to the tone of your husband's voice or the look in your mom's eye. And you're carrying the weight and the responsibility of it's because it's your job to make sure that the vibe is just right. If things get a little bit too tense, you're the one who comes in and resets it. If things get too awkwardly silent, then you're the one who brings that goofy joke in or says the thing to get the conversation going. Why? Because you are the emotional manager of the family, but not just the family. You have brought this incredible on point skill into every relationship, into church dynamics, into friend dynamics, whether it's one-on-one or it's in a big group. You've brought this with you wherever you go. And it's like you've got two to-do lists. One is your literal to-do list where you know that you need to do this, 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 and this. It's clear, you can point to it, you know what it is. But then you've got the second to-do list. And the second to-do list is not so easy. It is so on point, and you know exactly how you are, what you're supposed to do, and whose emotions you're supposed to manage, and exactly what you need to do to manage those emotions. But it's not, even though it's not clear where you can point to it and say, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And yes, I've agreed to do this. It's hidden, it's disguised, and we fall into it before we even realize that we're falling into it. This could not be more important for Christian women to figure out because it can so easily be camouflaged as being compassionate, being aware, being sensitive, following the Holy Spirit, when it is so often just a very unhealthy way of relating and behaving because we are emotionally managing other people. And in the long run, that creates a whole lot of stress for us. And that can show up in some very dangerous ways, but it also doesn't help other people because we've set the tone and we've told people that you can expect me to take care of your emotions, that if you freak out, if you aren't comfortable with something, I'm the one who's going to come in and save the day and make sure the world is right again. And simply put, that is just not your job. So I want you to imagine a day where you are at a family gathering, or you're at some church event, or you are going out for coffee one-on-one with a friend, and you're just sitting there, and to be there, it's so incredible, and to go from that over-functioning person to be able to sit there and see a dynamic where you totally would have normally swept in and rescued someone, right? Where someone made a comment and you can totally see, oh yeah, that made that other person uncomfortable. And I don't have to do anything about it. They can take care of themselves. They can figure it out. I don't need to manage every emotion in the room. It's fine for people to just be people and for them to figure their own stuff out. And for me to just be here and enjoy being here. But that takes a lot of time. That takes a lot of practice. And it doesn't happen the change doesn't happen overnight. And even if that was possible, emotionally, that typically would freak most of us out, and we can't handle it because it is such an emotional thing. Like, we are emotional managers, and it takes a very long, slow process of changing that, but the payoff is huge for you and everybody around you. So if you are ready to start changing this, then grab the Start Where You're Stuck handout below so that you can start naming it, owning your part, and creating the change that you've been waiting to see little by little, so that, because I don't want you freaking out and running away from the change that is totally possible and within reach. So I'm going to share with you a story about a family expectation within my own family that was very real and very heavy for me. And I want to just say right up front that I'm calling it a family expectation, but I set the bar. I set the expectation. Everyone enjoyed the benefits, and you'll know why in 2 minutes, but everyone enjoyed the benefits, but I'm the one who set the expectation, even though for years I thought it was coming from other people. But I had to realize that I'm the one who did this to myself. And most of the time, when we when we feel responsible for unspoken expectations, it's usually because we've communicated in some way that to the people around us that it is totally okay for them to expect that from us. So, long story short, foot rubs are my thing. Like giving foot rubs is my thing. And from the time I was 5, I learned how to do foot rubs, which my mom just loved. But over the years, I became really good at it. And then I did it for work for a period of time. But it was just like, that was the thing that the gift I would give to family members. And it turned into, I think one of the wake up moments for me was when we were all on holidays in the mountains. And if I was not out hiking or helping prep supper or clean up supper, if I sat down on the couch after a long day of hiking, which I know, yeah, it's all fun and relaxing, but it's still exhausting. So you sit down on the couch at the end of a long day, and my first thought is, okay, I've got 20 minutes. I should do someone's feet. I should give someone a foot rub, because when I'm there with my family members, because we don't live close together, I wanted to make sure that I was that I was giving everyone a foot rub over the time. And it was a huge expectation on me, but one that nobody, like if I had simply just expressed to people that, okay, you know what, you guys, I think, I wanted to give everyone a foot rub, but had I just told them that I was feeling really burdened by that, they all would have been fine. Like nobody would have been disappointed. But the thing is, I was feeling stressed out and worried, and I couldn't, it was like, it just became a thing of just got to get everybody done. And I can't sit down because there's someone, like there's 3 people that I haven't given a foot rub to yet. And so like the whole trip was, I just got to make sure that that's what I'm doing. And so I was feeling stressed on the inside, but even if a family member would say like, you don't have to do it, you can like just sit and relax, I'd be like, no, I'm fine. This is what I want to do. So I got to a point where, so for years, it was foot rubs was my thing. That's what I do when I see family, and everybody loves it. And it's just like a huge gift that I can so easily give. But it became a crushing expectation and got to the point where I kind of just fizzled out and stopped doing it, and I would just avoid it. And, which was a bummer, because the thing is, I still like giving it as a gift. And so I don't think, like, this is probably kind of over a 10-year span, but it wasn't until sometime in the last year, I was talking to my mom about it and just like laying out kind of where it's crushing. And I feel like I can't just be with people, and I can't just sit down and enjoy my family like I want to, because I have to give foot rubs. And so it was in talking about it that we realized that, you know what? Okay, another tricky part was, because I was doing it for free, nobody would ask, because you feel bad to ask for something for free. And then I'm like, well, I'm not going to charge because it's family. But then we actually realized that was where part of the problem lied and laid something. Part of the problem was laying, whatever. So what I did now, and I actually just sent a fun picture out to my family, to just, it's like, okay, this is like, I'm still doing foot rubs. I still want to do foot rubs. So for a half-hour foot rub, it's $10 and blah, blah, blah. That's not like, that's not important, but it was just this thing that actually made it. Now I know if someone wants a foot rub, they can ask, and it's not going to break their bank. But also, when I give it, it's a legit gift. And the really neat thing about this was the response from one of my nieces. It made her so happy. So like my nieces and nephews get the crazy great auntie deal, but it enables them to like get a really good foot rub for $1, rather than, like in the past, they would feel really, they're ages like 8 to 12. They would feel really bad for asking. So they would want a foot rub, but they felt bad to ask for it. Whereas now, if it's like, okay, they can get it for $1, so they're paying, then it just like opens the door for them to ask. But it also, like it's a small tweak that takes away the pressure and the frustration and the weight. And also now, if I'm on holidays, even if no one's expecting a foot rub when we're on holidays, I can so easily freely just tell my family, this is this is a burden that I put on myself, and I need to just let it go. And I know no one's expecting it, but I just need to voice it so that I'm releasing myself. And it's this kind of dynamic. Like, this is one piece of this whole overfunctioning craziness that I was doing, where I would, like, when I'm with family, and again, it's not just family, we learn these behaviors typically within our family context, but then we take this unique gift everywhere that we go, into every setting that we're in. And it is so crushing because we can't just be. We've got to like make sure everyone else is taken care of, everyone else is happy, everyone else is blah, blah, blah. And if something goes wrong, it's our fault. If someone has a bad time, it's our fault. If like, it's so crazy. But with this foot rub thing, this was like one piece of what had to where I had to learn to do something different. And so again, grab the Start Where You're Stuck handout in the description below. But basically what happened was I had to name it. I had to just talk about, okay, what do I feel when I'm with different people? And that sometimes comes in layers where you talk about the first layer. Once you get that out, then another, like just different layers come up. But then I had to own my part, right? Because I could say, well, this is an expectation where my family expects this of me, but I taught them to. So I'm like, at the end of the day, I can't even, like, it's no one else's fault but my own. And that's really freeing. Sometimes it's frustrating because we feel this expectation from other people, but it's typically what we put on ourselves. And so step 3 of the handout is to just come up with options, which is what, through this conversation with my mom, where we just realized that it's anyone can ask for one and they can pay, but then I also can like keep giving it as a gift. But it solved a whole lot of problems. And it took me from feeling this non-stop pressure when I'm with my family to now I can just be, and now I can just enjoy them. And it's also really fun when someone says, hey, can I hire you for a foot rub? Like there's just a lot of joy in that. And it's like total pressure to like no pressure. So the tricky part is that there are behaviors that we have. It's sort of like, it's who we are. So, sometimes the thought of turning off or of not, it's like if you sit down and relax, something bad is going to happen. But if you follow that thought through, it's like, it's just something bad is going to happen. Something like all it is something bad is going to happen. There's no thought through of what the bad thing is, or maybe there is, and you have to, maybe, well, if I don't play the role, then my sister is going to get really mad at me and she's going to say something to me. In which case, then it's like, okay, follow that through. If that happens and she's upset with you, then what do you want to do in that scenario? Because sometimes that's all that it is. It's either just a thought that we have to get over, and we have to just learn, at the next family gathering, it could be as simple as, I'm just going to sit. I'm not going to change anything besides for 5 minutes. I'm just going to sit and I'm going to watch people and I'm going to pay attention, and I'm going to look for something uncomfortable that I would typically step in and try to rescue or change. And I'm just going to let it happen. And as I watch it happen, I'm going to acknowledge, okay, the world's not falling apart. Everything's fine. Because that is a small change that we need to do when we are carrying the weight of the world. And again, as Christians, this is so important because we don't just do this with others. We do this with God, where we don't actually trust Him to carry the weight of the world. It's on us. And we likely learned it at a very young age. And it takes a lot of patience, a lot of grace, a lot of asking God for help to just like, help me let go of this. Help me manage what is mine to manage and stop managing what is not mine to manage. Because in the long term, like this, when we teach people that it is our job to manage their emotions and to make sure that the whole family sticks together and that the whole family's happy and that nobody's ever uncomfortable, then it is so nuanced, and it's like we end up teaching people that they're not responsible for their emotions, someone else is. And that develops really bad behaviors. Like you do not want to teach that to your kids. You do not want to teach that to your spouse. You do not want to teach that to anyone in your life. And so learning how to do this it's a bit of a theological issue, because we've got to deal with, who are we, not just in our family, but before God? Who are we as followers of Jesus? Who are we? What is our role? What are the burdens that we're carrying that we need to lay at His feet? And so again, let it be a slow process. Learn to name it. Grab the Start Where You're Stuck handout in the description below, but it just starts with naming it and talking about like, what what is going on the inside of you and your heart and in your mind when you are in different settings. What is your job? What, like, not that it's a good job, but it's like, what's your role? What's the job that you play? What are you supposed to do? And just learning to name it, becoming aware of it is so often the most helpful and powerful step, because when we can say it out loud, we can kind of hear how crazy it is. And then we can start to let it go and start to just like slowly work through this. And we can do it. The thing is, because step 2 in the handout is to own it, which if we don't own our part, we end up blaming other people. Because again, like the foot rub thing, I called it a family expectation, which nobody expected of me. Everyone enjoys the results and everyone loves getting a foot rub, but nobody, had I just voiced what I was actually feeling rather than saying, I'm fine and it's totally fine and I love doing this, which I do love doing. I love giving foot rubs and I love the gift that it is, but I hate the pressure that came along with it. And amazingly, you can learn to say, I still love doing the thing. I still love getting together. I love doing this certain piece, but I'm learning to let go of the pressure. And when you can own your part, it's not about blaming other people or trying to get other people off your back. It's that you need to learn what you are wrongly carrying, what the way that you are in unhealthy ways, setting the wrong expectations. And so just tweak it, play with it, start to realize what is actually going on behind the scenes in your life, and little by little change it. And the results are huge. So please take what is going on in your head and your heart seriously, especially if you are tired and exhausted and burdened and all that so not fun stuff. All right. So again, lastly, grab the Start Where You're Stuck handout in the description below. And lastly, remember to read the Bible, get lost in the beauty of God, and let Him heal your heart. And I will talk to you soon.